possesses 46 chromosomes, 23 from the mother, 23 from the father. It is possible to have one extra chromosome, and that makes you Down syndrome. But when we're dealing with normalcy, we're talking about 46 chromosomes. So I am a result of 23 chromosomes from my mother and 23 chromosomes from my father. All right, so I'm a product of my mother and my father, whether they did it upstairs or downstairs. All I know is I'm a result of that encounter. There is something that we call chromosomal compatibility. A human being possesses 46 chromosomes, 23 from the mother, 23 from the father. It is possible to have one extra chromosome, and that makes you Down syndrome. But when we're dealing with normalcy, we're talking about 46 chromosomes. So I am a result of 23 chromosomes from my mother and 23 chromosomes from my father. All right, so I'm a product of my mother and my father, whether they did it upstairs or downstairs. All I know is I'm a result of that encounter. When you see me walk tall like this, I'm tall on my father's side. If you see my hairline, I have that hairline on my father's side. If you greet me, my hands are soft on my mother's side. When I speak, my voice is as sweet as my mother because it's from my mother's side. You see, my head is the shape that it is on my father's side. My nose is my mother's side. My eyes are my mother's side. My mouth is from my father's side. So when you see me, you see a combination of two people. In spiritual matters, we have spiritual chromosomal compatibility. In that Jesus walked in the street of Jerusalem on his mother's side, but walked on water on his father's side. Oh, I wish I had people now. Sit down. He got in the house and sat on his mother's side. But the way he ended through a wall on his father's side. Spiritual chromosomal compatibility. He would eat fish on his mother's side, but multiply bread on his father's side. Oh, I wish I had people now. So Jesus was a carpenter on his mother's side. Notice, Joseph was not the father. That was the stepfather. But he was on that cross on his mother's side. They put him in the grave on his mother's side. But the grave couldn't keep him on his father's side. No, you didn't hear me. They put nails on his hands and he was there like this on his mother's side. But the nails couldn't fasten him there on his father's side. I came here to tell you there is something on the inside of you. We have this treasure in earthen vessels. They put him in the grave. The whole opening, they put a rock on there on his mother's side. He couldn't come out on his mother's side, but on his father's side. The Bible says, if the same spirit that raised Christ from the dead dwells on the inside of you, he that raised Christ from the dead shall vitalize, invigorate. If you hear what I'm saying, shout yes! You are broke on your mother's side, but you are rich on your father's side. You are an employee on your mother's side, but on your father's side, you employ everybody. Oh, you can be sick on your mother's side, but on your father's side, no sickness can stay in your body. Spiritual chromosomal compatibility.
A good news world with Uebert Angel, provoking a reaction and always worth hearing.